So for my next trick, I'd like to discuss reincarnation and past lives. Now, this can be a potentially maddening topic because some people think they have all the answers. I know some people like to tell me that I think I have all the answers, and I'm just gonna say, no, I don't. I know some people like to think that I think I do, but I'm just trying to have civilized conversation here. Yeah, I said civilized because in my last video I was like, oh, civilized is like not universal concepts. Well, in this case, if we're gonna have a civilized conversation, that means we're gonna be polite and respectful, and if we don't agree with somebody, we can just do what Thumper's mom said and not say anything at all. And I say that as a disclaimer because I've had videos and people have like gone off the deep end because I breathed wrong. So we're not going to do that. First things first, I believe in reincarnation, and I believe that myself and pretty much everybody watching this has had a past life, at least one. Now, this is an interesting topic because it begs the question, how many times do we live? Like, how many times are we born again? And how many times do we live? Is there something at the end of that? Like, do we live umpteen lives, and after we've learned all of our lessons, do we go to heaven? Does the cycle stop? What's at the end of this? Insanity. Also, I wonder, do we choose who we come back as? And I wonder this because some of the lives I've had, there are similarities in them. And then one of the lives I've had, I was like, why the fuck would I choose to be this person? Where did this come from? Or is it even higher than us? Do we, as relatively intelligent spirit beings hanging out in the upper troposphere or wherever the frig we are in between lives, are we like, oh, I'm gonna come back there? Okay, you're gonna go there. I'll meet you in our next life. Whoop. How does that happen? Do we return with the same people? Even though we could be born in Russia one life and this person's my husband, and then I could be born in Canada or Mexico in the next life and that person's my daughter. Same person, different lives, different bodies, but are they the same person? Now, all these things I've thought about, they put me in a friggin' tizzy because it's like, I just think myself stupid. I have had, over the past 5 years, I want to say close to 10 past life regressions, which are totally freaking amazeballs fun, and you should definitely try it. In the 10-ish past life regressions I've had, I have uncovered 3 very distinct lives. Now, here's where it gets a little touchy, because the topic of reincarnation, yes, it's found in Hinduism, but the way I'm speaking of it is very westernized. It is not Hindu at all. Therefore, it leaves me really open to criticism from people who believe in heaven and one life and who think I'm insane for thinking I've lived before. You're allowed to believe that, but I'm not going to accept you telling me I'm wrong. I'm not going to accept anybody telling anybody they're wrong flat out like that. It's rude, first of all. If you want to have a discussion about this, freaking fine. I love discussing. But people are very touchy about their religious topics, and this is one, because we're talking about death, that I think people can get really insane over. So if you don't believe in what I believe, you can just go watch another video. I'm not forcing you to stay here. So I have to look at all this from a scientific, logical perspective. Yes, I do believe I have lived past lives. I do believe I will live again after this one. I have some memories. I have more of it is less vivid memories. More of it is inclinations and intuitions and feelings. Phobias, things like that. So, the first question, do we choose who we come back as? If we are, yes, reincarnating, definitely, without a question, reincarnating, are we choosing our next body, our next life? I ask that because two of the 3 lives, actually, the 3 lives I had, not including this one, there have been very interesting similarities. And then including this one, there have been things that have happened in those lives that I've noticed haven't happened in this life. But if I look at this occurrence from life A and compare it to this life D, yes, that did not happen, of course. But I'm reacting as if this tragedy happened, and now I find myself in therapy because I don't know how to handle this thing that didn't happen. It's very bizarre to explain, but I'm hoping to get there. 4, so I've lived 3 lives before, plus this one, so 4 lives. I've been a female 3 times and a male once. Did I choose that? Do we choose things? So I think we might. And I think that because the next question being, do we live with the same people from life to life? I say yes. I can tell you for damn sure I've known my husband before. I can tell you for absolute certain I have been with a handful of my friends before. Twice, in fact. And I can distinguish between them. I can tell you that, no, my husband was not in life A. My friends were. Both were in life B. My husband and my friends. None were in life C, and here we all are again in life D. Now, is there a higher power at work? We may choose where we go, but do we have to earn credits or merits first? And that brings up the topic or the question of, do we live life to life with the sole purpose or the higher purpose of learning from the previous? That one, I don't know. I want to say no, because it creates this really strange running in circles thing. Say you fuck up in life A. Say I fucked up in life A. I did something really bad. I done fucked up. And I was given a second chance. Okay. Spirit says, okay, you're gonna get another chance. Wherever you live, wherever you go, whoever you're born as, you gotta learn from that thing you done did in life A. Okay, I will. Then I'm born in life B. Maybe I have no recollection of life A. Maybe I am hardcore Christian or just religious. I believe in heaven, YOLO, whatever. It doesn't even occur to me that I've lived before. It doesn't even enter my thought at all. So how do I know what I have to learn from? How do I know there's anything to learn from a previous life? I die in life B. I come back in life C. Same thing. Maybe I did something bad in life B, and I die in life B, and Spirit says, okay, you did it again. Now you've got 2 lives to make up for. You gotta learn your lesson here. You. Try again. Go to life C. I'm born in life C. Again. Same thing. I have no recollection I've lived before. It may not even occur to me that that's a thing that happens, that you die and are reborn. So now I'm carrying the weight of 2 previous lives without even knowing it. Now, here's what's true for me. Life C for me, traumatic death. The previous 2 lives were like a freaking cakewalk, regardless of fuck-ups. Life C, traumatic death. Life D is where I am now. Guess which life has terrorized me more? The last one. Now that I live in the 21st century, I do have a concept of reincarnation. I believe in reincarnation. I do not believe in YOLO. I don't YOLO. I don't believe in a tangible afterlife, like heaven. I'm looking back after having had these past lives, and I can say, okay, life A, very distinguishable, have memories, I know what happened, I know what my memory or my cell memory has taken from life A, and I know what of life A I carry now. Same with life B, it's pretty chill, has some issues, we worked it out, or am working them out now. Life C, traumatic death. When I had my past life regression for life C, and I got to the point where I died, I have never felt like that in my life. I started screaming and crying, and there were other PLRs going on in the room, and they were like freaked out when they came out. They're like, what the fuck happened to you? And that is something that I've carried with me, not that I dwell on it, but it's something I think about. Obviously, something traumatic happened to me in that past life. Of course, we are speaking as if past lives are, without a doubt, real. Remember, I said we have to take them with a grain of salt. Yes, we're doing that. But for the sake of this discussion, they are 100% true. So, what do I do now? I've got these 3 lives that I know of. There could be a couple others that I have not uncovered yet. Okay? So, what do I do now? I was in therapy in college for unrelated issues, obviously. I'm not going to therapy because I had a traumatic death in the 1940s. Duh. I've been to therapy. I know how to, handle my panic attacks. I have a panic disorder. I have suffered from anxiety since I was born. So somebody telling me it's all in your head, it's just environmental, no. I was born anxious, but why? Where did that come from? I was born with stomach issues. So people who have told me this, people saying it's all in your head, you're creating this, you're creating it, there's nothing wrong with you. Again, no. I was born with this. This happened at birth. Or before birth, obviously, because I developed that way. But where did that come from? If there's no trace of any of this in my family history, could it have come from cell memory or from a past life? My essence recalled a gunshot wound to the stomach, which was my traumatic death that I screamed during. Did my essence, my spirit, recall that? And when I was born in this life, that memory of that death via blown out gut, is that what initially sparked my stomach disease? People who have my stomach disease have diabetes. They usually go hand in hand. I'm not a diabetic. It doesn't even run in my family. So where did that stomach disease come from, if not from cell memory? It's all speculation, of course. Where did my anxiety issue come from, if not from that traumatic experience in life C? Of course, when I say the 1940s and I was a male, you can probably guess where the fuck I was. So, from that, over the past couple of years, I've determined very anxious person. And more than just anxious, occasional panic attacks, kind of a little neurotic, very claustrophobic. I've been dealing with agoraphobia my whole life, and it's not fun when you have to go to work every day and be a grown-up, and you can't even leave your house. I'm very anxious in crowds. I can't go to the mall at Christmas time. I can't have people walking too close behind me. I get very nervous when people I don't know are right behind me. It's like personal bubble, and they're still 5 feet, 6 feet behind me. And I'm like, personal bubble. And they're like, what? I don't even know you. I don't like when people drive too close to me. I wouldn't say it's paranoia because I'm conscious that I need to chill out. But could all that be from life C? Now, life B, which is my favorite, is when I recall very vividly being with my husband and my closest friends. They are my children. My husband was still my husband. Since I've met my husband, I've never felt like this in my life. Since I've met my husband, I'm absolutely terrified of losing him. I didn't feel like this with my other boyfriends. I never did. obviously I was concerned for their safety, but it was never like a preoccupation where, oh my god, they're like a half hour late from work and they haven't called, they must be dead on the side of the road. I'm completely preoccupied with the safety of my husband at all times. I've never felt like this before. It was revealed during a past life regression regarding life B that my husband was taken from me very prematurely, and I never recovered. Ever. Because the reintroduction of my husband in this life, obviously, in theory, must have sparked that memory of, I lost you very early on once, I will not lose you again, I'm completely terrified that something bad will happen to you. Is that what's happening? Of course, it's all speculation, it's all really interesting to think about. And I would like for this all to be true. It sucks being an anxious person, it really does. But the thought that I'm this way because I lived before and I am the way I am because of previous lives is a very provocative, very interesting topic that I want to write about all this. I want to write a book about this. It's very interesting to me. And I've asked my mother before, it's like, Mom, when I was a kid, did I talk about stuff that didn't make any sense? Did I have weird tics? And all she could say was just very anxious. Things like that. I can tell you I was terrified of the dark. But what child isn't? The one thing I do remember is when I would come up with little stories or draw pictures, it seemed like all the kids I drew had only one parent. And I recalled this a few years ago after I had a PLR about life A. And my parents both died when I was quite young in that life. So little things like that I recall, do I think this, or do I do this, or do I have this tic or display this behavior for no reason, but do I do it because of previous lives? And I think it's really interesting for you watching to consider your own thoughts on the matter. Did you live before? Where were you? Who were you? Who did you know? What about you now? Phobias, tics, behaviors, likes, dislikes. What about you now makes you wonder, where did that come from? And I'd be really interested to hear of other people's perspectives in a very mature and objective manner, and I'd be really interested to hear other people's experiences. Have you had past life regressions before? Do you have memories without the need of a regression? Have you had dreams? Just opinions. I think this warrants a part 2 should I get some interesting feedback. So, grain of salt, take it with one, and enjoy.